Welcome back, folks. In this lesson, my goal is to clear up the mystery surrounding vector-based artwork. Now, you're already familiar with raster-based artwork, even if you haven't been calling it that, because that's what your digital camera produces, usually in the form of a JPEG. That's right, JPEGs are raster-based images. And while raster-based images do a great job representing things such as photographs, they are made up of pixels, which means they are resolution dependent. And scaling up or enlarging will result in a loss of resolution. Now, this can be really problematic, especially when you're talking about importing an image that was downloaded from a website and trying to enlarge it to the size of a banner. However, it does not mean that you cannot use pixel-based images in your banner designs. You certainly can. You just have to be cognizant of what resolution you're working at. Now, fortunately, at the Rocket Banner Company, we have incorporated into our online design tool a readout that continuously displays image resolution and warns you when it's getting too low. We'll talk more about this tool in lessons 2 and 3. Okay, back in Adobe Illustrator now, where I can point out some of the problems associated with scaling a raster-based image. I've created another slide which isolates just the raster-based image, and that'll give us room to scale it without any clutter on the screen. So I'm going to select the image, and I'm going to go to the Object menu, and I'm going to go to Transform, Scale, and I'm going to scale this up 1000%. In other words, 10 times the size it is now. That sounds like a lot, but believe me, it happens all the time. Alright, click OK, and here's the problem. Alright, this stair-stepping occurs when you upsample a raster-based image. All you're really doing is enlarging the pixels. Alright, and then you're going to print this out, and these enlarged pixels are going to show up and they're going to print on your banner. Alright, so when you're working with something that is not a photograph, that can be defined mathematically by vectors, it's best to stick with vector-based artwork. So what is vector-based artwork anyway? Well, let's have a look. I have another slide prepared here, and what this is, it's a vector-based version of the same logo that we've been working with. Now, vector-based artwork is also referred to as line art. You see? Line art. Alright, let me zoom in to the corner of this R right here, and let me select it. And now you're getting a behind-the-scenes view of exactly what vector-based artwork is all about. It's simply a series of anchor points connected by straight lines and curves, and to these straight lines and curves we apply attributes that we call fill and stroke, and that's what gives the artwork its appearance. Now, the beautiful thing about it is it's fully scalable. Let me select it and do what I did with that raster-based image, and that's go to the Object menu, then go to Transform and Scale, and I'm going to scale it up 1000%, same as I did with the raster version. Click OK, and here we have a 10 times larger image, and look at that, razor sharp. And that's how it's going to print, razor sharp. Alright, now let's contrast that to the image you already saw, the raster-based version of the logo, and you can see the difference. So the point is, ladies and gentlemen, if you are working with things like logos, things that can be defined by lines and curves, logos, drawings, things like that, then the best format to have them in is a vector-based format because it is fully scalable. And vector formats are things like EPSs, PDFs, and SVGs.